as we ooze into Tuesday nights. It's kind of a hot drop in tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because the production office is locked. There's a sign on the door that says back soon looking for Larch. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but we're on our own this evening.
Yeah, there was we got a message Sunday night during the show about from Larch. It seemed like it was from Larch. So go over, go to the Discord and you can check out that message and see if you can discern any clues from it.
Yeah, that was freaky.
But I suspect that's where everybody is.
It got me shaking in my boots.
Yeah. Not a fun time.
Speaking of Sundays, that was Mercs of Mischief night. You guys were in the middle of some deep emotional stuff when that happened, so that left a couple of marks.
Yeah.
Last night, luckily, we were free from most of that. It's too many warlocks. We just had to deal with Puck, our benevolent dungeon master. So yeah, we had that. And there's some other stuff. We got some other shows happening now too. The Avalon Society London Fall is happening. Check our channels, panels to see exactly when they go live, because it's very early in the morning North America time, because they're streaming directly from all over the world, frankly. It's presented by our new friend Dead Aussie Gamer. You can find him at that tag all over the place. It takes place in the Malifaux universe, and it's using the system called Through the Breach, which is unique. I watched it the other night. That's a very different system. I like it very much. The cast includes Guy Sklanders from How to Be a Great GM, Myri from Orkenspouter TV. I probably pronounced that wrong, but I gave it a shot. Till from Dungeon Fog, Janet from World Anvil, Anthony, aka Vegemite Dangerous from Roll for Damage. And this is one of the things I like about this system. The person that runs it is called the Fate Master. And the Fate Master for this game is Dead Aussie Gamer himself, Michael. So you guys should definitely check that out. If you don't want to get up at wee hours of the morning, it's available on VOD. It'll also go up on the YouTube later on in the week. Speaking of YouTube, I'm going to hand over to one of our two experts in that field for that little bit, who bring us up to speed on that.
You want to play rock, paper, scissors, or?
You spoke first.
All right, fair.
Boy.
So right now we have our Hero Forge series coming out every Wednesday. We have just had Gilbetta. That was a lot of fun.
It's
we
tomorrow.
have Gilbetta, sorry.
It's tomorrow.
I schedule it, so to me it's already done. So, but it's
very Marty of you.
I know. I exist in all the places at once.
Yeah, tomorrow is the Gilbetta episode that drops. It's a thing that exists.
It's great.
It's pretty good.
It's
pretty good. And then next week we'll be making Yee.
Yeah.
So
and then today we had our Redan and Rolda one-shot drop.
Yep.
That's from way back in semester 1. If you want to see what happened to Redan and Rolda when they dropped through the end of the universe and into another, go check that out. Portal Partners or Portal Party.
Portal Hoppers, I
that
think.
One.
Portal Hoppers. Yeah, and all the past episodes of all the Mercs of Mischief, Too Many Warlocks, special events, all that stuff is all there on YouTube as well. Also, thank you to Tabletop Audionautics for the royalty-free music and sound effects that you will hear at various points during this evening. And a special thank you as well to Thunderscape 7 for our art. Even the upgraded art for 2 of them that has been done relatively recently. Thank you to all of them. That was wonderful. And then, of course, if we're on thank yous, let's thank all of you guys, too, that are watching for all the support you've shown us. With that set aside, let's quickly introduce our crew, and then we can get into this. So just to be difficult, I'm going to start at the far away corners, because he doesn't look like he's prepared at all there. He looks like he's ready now. Lessamax playing Lucius for us tonight. Sky, he always looks ready, even when he's not playing Jet for us this evening. Sarah playing Miss Alice. And then up on the top row here at the far end, Hannah playing Ellie and Ryan playing Baptiste. Oh, every time. We need new art. Just a hat. That's all I'm saying. And speaking of things that left a mark, last time, we should probably run some credits.
Perfect.
I like that. That was a smooth.
Let's go down a new rabbit hole where we find our poison paradise party, Hollywood bound.
I like that every time I watch it, and not just because I'm in it. Although, anyway, back to this. Here we are. Last time we gathered upon the western shores of the fractured lands, Jet is in Save the People mode, as is his wont. Ellie, therefore, is in Save Jet mode, as is required. Alice is chasing yet another story and taking even more amazing pictures, and by God, when this woman gets to a darkroom, history is going to change. Lucius is chasing his family. And perhaps most surprising of all, Baptiste got himself some old-time religion. Which leaves us sitting as the evening progresses into dawn, most of the light of the past night provided by the fire of tens of thousands of books burning into ashes. Another group rescued on their way home, the last of this bunch. The sun rising behind you over the solid lands and the unknown broken lands ahead of you. You notice as the sun starts to come up, there's a fine sort of silvery gray mist everywhere that just obscures your vision. It's like being in a fishbowl half a mile wide. Yesterday was exhausting, physically, emotionally, mentally. Hell, every day for the last 2 months has been like that now. What would you like to do? Oh, I should mention, there is another tripod and rope visible at the end of this island going off into the distance.
Okay, so we're back on that island where we saved all those people, right?
Yeah, you guys,
Okay.
at the end of the last one, you guys shuffled everyone back to the mainland, whereupon they scattered into the city.
Okay.
I don't.
Lucius, did you have an idea of next steps? I mean, it's been a long night.
We could rest, or we could continue. So, how are we all feeling? Exhausted? I would assume after our little rescue.
Oh, I think a bit of rest is probably in order. Plus, again, sleeping during the day, at least the heat of it. But I got to admit, taking a look off that far edge there before we figure out if we're going to camp here or fly back to our little chateau seems prudent, if the rest of you agree.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Another hour or so.
Go back to our little chateau.
So you were suggesting that you go towards the new tripod and have a look to see what you can see? Is that what?
Yeah, just
Baptiste
to
was.
you know, see what's on that edge before spending the heat of the day resting.
The rest of you?
I'll accompany you.
Well, how far off is that? Like, is that?
It's a quarter of a mile. It's not a big distance.
Yeah, so riding or walking instead of taking the ship to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Easy. Yeah. Speaking of riding, are you going to ride? He asked. Baptiste leadingly.
I mean, I don't have. Well, we left off with, you know, it's sort of in the night, and he kind of checked that out. But if I'm waiting to see what other people do. I mean, it's not very far, so if we're just walking, he'll walk.
Yeah, it's certainly walking distance. The rest of you? I mean, if you're staying on this island, this would probably be the place to camp. There's a fire.
Yeah.
But, you know, you've got time.
Alice says, I think that we can, some of us, I'll stay here and prepare to make camp for the night, and don't want to go too far from the blimp.
Yeah.
Is there like, can we comfortably, even reasonably comfortably camp here for the day, or is it just like sleeping in the sun if we stay here?
There's those barrels are still here, so you could build some structure out of the barrels to provide shade for yourselves. And it is that with this cold, definitely not cold. It's Pacific. It's warm, but it's this mist makes it difficult to see, but it doesn't cool things off significantly. So no, this is a very salty, very hot environment. So you would want some sort of cover.
All right. Well, I'm honestly probably better suited for helping to put a tent together or get in the airship if we want to burn an hour to fly back, sleep for the day, and then continue on our way. But if anybody else wants to go check out the edge, tell me what I can help pick up and get ready, and I'll do that.
I'm fine with anything if y'all need, another hand to go to the edge, but I was going to stay here and see if Miss Alice and I can figure out how to make this thing drive a little more consistently. And I just kind of look over at her as I say consistently.
I'll accompany you, Lucius.
All right.
So the three of you head for the edge. Two of you are staying here, right?
Well, those two are staying to work on the blimp. I'm gonna put together lean-tos, and Hannah.
These two are going to the edge. Okay.
Yep.
Ellie and Lucius.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry.
No problem. So you guys make your way over to the edge. The three of you start getting your prep together. That's not an issue. Everything is in there. You've done this before. The two of you walk over to the edge. Give me some scrutinizing as you try and peer into this strange mist. First of all, this next island is not as far away. You can see the next island, whereas this one was far enough away from the coast you couldn't see it. So you can see the tripod in the distance. Oh dear.
My old friend or enemy.
Wow.
I just grew eagle eyes.
Yeah. You well, the two of you walk to the edge. Lucius, you're staring off into the distance. Ellie reaches over and taps you on the shoulder and turns you so you're pointed the right direction. And once she shows you, you can see, but Ellie, Lucius, you can see on this next island, it's hard to tell against the gray and the mist, but there's smoke. and not just one fire, there's dozens. They look like they're in rows, almost like streets. And 26, good grief. Miss Ellie, you hear clear as day across this gap. I mean, it's a long way, but it's one of those weird, freaky, like echo down valley things where it's miles away, but you hear it anyway. You hear popcorn, 2 bits.
Like merchants selling stuff?
Absolutely. You hear somebody selling popcorn.
Lucius, are these islands usually occupied?
To my knowledge, no. They're very dangerous. If I'm not mistaken, there's a lot of ghost rock in these areas, but it's very dangerous to get.
Well, it
Yeah,
seems
it tends
like
to be way down the sides of these pillars that you guys are on. So yeah.
well, it seems
Sorry to
like
interrupt.
nothing can stop the sellers because somebody is selling popcorn over there.
Really?
Popcorn's a universal food, I guess, including on island non-territories.
This only gets stranger and stranger. I don't know whether we're going for a movie or whether to be just absolutely terrified.
And in
That
another
movies
brief
exist.
pause, you hear beadwork belts, 2 for 1.
There's
You
more,
heard that right?
There's more than one. Are they? It sounds like a marketplace. Can we see anything?
Now that you say that, you look back and these fires are basically in 2 rows, like these smokes that you can see, like 2 sides of a street.
How big is that like island? Is it like a big, you could build like a city island, or is it not that large?
It's from what you can tell, because you're only looking at one end of it, it looks like it's sort of long and thin.
Well, whoever's
'Cause
over
remember
there,
too,
they've set up camp.
Remember too, you guys, there is a double trail of garbage along the places where all these big carts went, right? So this double trail of garbage goes to the tripod off the edge. On the other side, you can see the tripod, the 2 lines of garbage, and lined up with that are these 2 rows of torches and fires and apparently street vendors.
Weird. Is the only way to get there by the trolley, the rope?
That's what it looks like. Yep.
That's peculiar. So they started a society already on this end. For what reason? That doesn't make sense.
You can pretty easily have a marketplace on an already inhabited place. And the last group seemed pretty messed up and in no place to start up their own vendors. Do you think they're from the boat or from the cart? Or they're another group?
It's hard to say. We could ask Jet maybe to fly over there and check it out, or we could take a look at it another time.
The 2 of you give me cognition checks, please. Just straight cognition. It's your top trait, top left-hand side. Well, I guess we know who sacrificed to the dice gods before tonight. And who didn't? Oh, wow. Miss Ellie,
What did
kinda
you do?
You count the fires and do the math. There was supposed to be tens of thousands, or at least 10,000 people on all these carts. There's not room over there for anywhere near that amount. Maybe if you packed it full, there'd be room for 1,000. And this isn't full.
There's other islands past that one, right, Lucius?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, maybe these people might have an idea where they were headed. If they're still in the right mind enough to be selling stuff, although I don't know who they'd be selling to. Maybe they actually can give us more valuable information.
It's a very good idea.
Well, I think you had a good idea of seeing if Jet can at least scout ahead. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to spread his wings.
You know how he always has to like transform and he's naked? Well, they could make him like little foldable clothes, could just unfold and then blend.
Origami underwear. So the two of you start to make your way back. Is that yeah? Okay. So the three of you back at the camp. Anything you want to do while they're gone?
I guess me and Jed are just trying to see if we can refine this.
Right.
Yeah.
Want to improve the aircraft. Give me a tinkering check. And we'll add a couple to it for Jet helping. Just add a couple to your result. That's a very good tinkering result. You hardly... okay. That's such a good result. Jet tries to help. And you remember how well he flew this thing?
Mm-hmm.
And realize that maybe his advice should not be taken. And so you send him off to lift heavy things with Baptiste, and you start figuring out a police system which scales down the movements, right? So when you go like that, the whole thing doesn't go. It gives you some fine control. So yeah, you figure out how to do that, and it's only a couple of extra pulleys, so it's something you could certainly whip up yourself over the course of an hour or two. Done. It's going to be much more flyable. Yeah.
We have a wheel now, at least.
No.
Would you like, with a 17, if you want, you can have a wheel, or it's still just the two crossed ropes.
That's up to Miss Alice.
That's why I was asking.
Freaking! Screw it. Put a wheel on it.
There's a wheel on it now. It's easy enough. I mean, the two ropes that come by, you just wrap them around the stick. But anyway, it's got a wheel on it now. Yeah. You guys are full Jules Verne now.
Well, so when you think about it, a wheel is just a couple ropes.
Lord.
That's Ryan being dumb. Lucius is real smart. Or Lucius, that's not even my character.
Wow.
I build a lean-to.
Oh dear. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Put and sticks, make
Jet
tent.
comes over and Jet comes over and leans to it. That's yeah. Okay. So
it's the scene at the beginning of 2001. He's just the ape with the bone.
Yeah. And much like that scene, it goes on way too long.
I was going to say, does this mean I get to spend the next 15 minutes trying to teach the two of you how to tie a knot?
Tell me what to roll. I put points in strength. Let me roll strength.
You can, if you would really like to build a very strong lean-to, you could roll something for me if you like. Otherwise, I was just going to give you lean-to rolling as an innate ability.
You got my help as well, apparently.
Yeah, which is good for -2 now. So,
come on, this ain't about being smart. This is about
fly up and tell me if the angle's good.
Y'all better start dancing with me. I don't think y'all know the cost of that.
Hey, man. I said I'd go with.
There's no place for you to hide dancing from now on.
Baptiste and Jen have already danced.
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
And then I shot a mug.
You have also promenaded, so there is that.
All right. I try to make us something comfortable to get out of the sun.
Absolutely, yeah. Between you got the barrels and some stuff that you've got with you. Absolutely, no problem at all. So you guys have got that built by the time these two get back. Nice. Apparently only one of these two is currently here, but that's okay. We'll work with that. So Lucius, you guys arrive back. You look up and see that Miss Alice has done some tinkering, and you guys have now invented the steering wheel as well as everything else that you've invented in this game. They were on boats before. But...
Not that this is important, but do we still need a compass? For our ship? Out of curiosity.
You certainly could use one. It's very misty. I mean, you can see the sun, and at night you could maybe read the stars through this mist, but a compass never hurts.
I mean, we have like cork, a needle, magnetize it, put it in a bowl. Just the old-fashioned grade 4 science. So I don't know if they'll.
You don't even need a magnet, actually.
It's magic.
Survival tip. No, a free survival tip. Take a piece of iron, point it north, and hit it with a hammer, and it will temporarily become magnetic.
That's pretty cool.
Wait, does it have to be pointed north? Because
yes,
that requires you to already know where north is while making your compass.
Well, we know during the day.
When the sun's up, it's pretty easy to figure out north. Yeah, and at night, if you can read the sky, you can do it too. But yeah, that actually works.
Cool.
And you just keep turning in a circle until it works. Also, as an alternative.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, because it won't work if it's not pointed north. So anyway, you, in your tinkering genius, take a tiny hammer and a tiny piece of iron and go ding and make a compass. And then you get angry and beat the shit out of a big piece of iron for half an hour just out of sheer rage. So yes, I will. You know what? You've been rolling so poorly tonight. I want to give you a chance to roll poorly again. Lucius, give us a tinkering skill to get us a compass. Here's your chance. Roll it like a 38. Make me the best compass.
I've been very lucky with my tinkering rolls throughout the game. So
I would just stop talking.
You may have just jinxed it.
Oh, there it is. Look at that.
There you go.
You make a very nice compass that works very well and is mounted on a gimbal. So it's always flat.
Really points north.
It really it's a really good compass. It points true north, not magnetic north. It's that.
Turns out he was thinking about that compass the whole time with that they were doing the other stuff. That's what happened.
Well, we talked about it last time when we were arguing, so I'm like, well, while we're figure out stuff, might as well get this done.
This just reminds me of that bit where it's like talking about fridges, and it's like, this will keep your food cold for 500. This will keep your food cold for 800, and then it just keeps going.
At some point, it's about how quietly it makes the ice.
With the wheel on the ship, Alice just makes camp and tries to get some rest.
Yeah,
absolutely. So these two get back. Lucius, there was some. Yeah, you report back.
We report everything.
You were going to ask Jet, were you, to do a trip?
Yes. Can I ask you a favor, Jet? There's some strange activity. It sounds like merchants. To what direction would that be? Looking at the compass.
West.
West.
Everything.
That's how you introduce that you've made the compass on the watch card. Oh, I think there's some people.
West of here.
Yeah.
And you rock it with your finger so you can see that it's gimbal mounted. Yeah.
Anyway, it
oil
sounds
filled.
Like there's a bunch of merchants there selling strange things. Ellie heard popcorn. I heard beads, was it?
Beaded belts.
Beaded belts. So yeah. I was wondering with your crow-like eyes if you could check it out.
I could. If y'all already saw it, though, I don't know why we just don't head that way.
We only heard it.
All right.
So we have no idea what's going on over there.
Alice says, we also need to discuss the real possibility that, because we don't know how this works, that as we get closer to Father Grimm, we get sucked into this mania that
that's a good point. But there are people who seem to have a resistance to it, such as my aunt. I wish I had asked some of the survivors who seem to be resistant to this. Is it people of faith, maybe, or who have just a great conviction of some sort?
The second I can't answer for, but your aunt was not a traditional woman of faith. Certainly no more so than your family was. They would have had whatever faith was appropriate to their business, right?
Yeah, and Al says it may not come up because maybe you had to hear the sermon or so. But she says, I'm just saying it's a real possibility that as we get closer, at least some of us start to feel this pull. So we need to be prepared.
I think that's definitely something for us to consider, but a part of it also seems that, Grimm seems to be losing quite a number of folks along the way. These elderly and infirm and the young, this next island, I certainly would like to go and try to see what we can see, but perhaps he expended all that energy to get his ark built and it's petering off.
Maybe. I'm just saying it's something to think about as we
But he
proceed.
definitely seems to have his favorites. Remember, there was almost two classes. There's the ones who were pushing the boat, and those who were in the first class in a sense. Apparently, my parents were part of that. So he's, I don't know, maybe using them for certain nefarious deeds.
Were we around when Lucius was talking to that survivor about the guy who seemed to exist outside of Grimm, completely? Okay, never mind.
Yep. Yeah, but just something to think about. And then she just rolls back over.
And just tries to get some sleep in the heat.
I wouldn't mind headed. If Ellie and Lucius, if you want to go ahead and start to get some sleep, I'll go with Jet and see if I can pick anything out while he flies around. Then we can all sleep throughout the day, and then we'll just go talk to these merchants or whatever it is come this evening.
Sounds good. I need time to think, so if there's time, I just want to go in a quiet corner and tinker a little bit, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take the scope off my rifle, but not the rifle itself.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Jet.
If we head off, I don't want to push the scene presumptuously, but if Baptiste and I are starting to ride off that direction,
yeah.
I will kind of, lean in the saddle and tell him, I'll be like, I really would prefer to not have to fly over there if we can get a good eye with that. I was actually going to see if we could use that. What I do don't come cheap. It doesn't feel like it's necessarily taking a bit of my soul, but I have to dance for quite some time to be able to do that. So I like to keep it as an ace in the pocket, if you know what I mean.
Sure, yeah. Let's figure out what the two of us see and through a scope, and as long as we come back with as much as they know, then honestly, look, the truth of the matter is we could stand out here out of eyesight for 5 minutes and then come back, because we're gonna head this way come the evening anyway. What you and I do in the next 30 minutes isn't really gonna matter.
That's fair.
But let's go take a look. Besides, I kind of have to pee, and
you always wanted to be off
200-foot
of a
drop. Never done that before.
Oh, the bonding.
You'd be done by the time the first bit gets to the ground.
Well, I'll just be tinkering in that corner if you'll excuse me, gentlemen.
Yeah. He's got something to point.
No,
north
we're
and
out of
beat.
earshot. By the time we say that,
I'll be tinkering while y'all
The
are
two of you.
tinkering and tinkling.
Yeah. The two of you get to the edge. Take turns looking through the scope. Yeah, you see, it's very clear. They have, they're not as well built even as your lean-to, but somebody has taken whatever bits and pieces they could get and built what looks for all the world like a market street. And every booth has got somebody in it pitching something. The only weird part is there's almost no one on the street itself. And every once in a while, a couple of them come out of their booths, go to another booth. There's a big haggle, and then they go back with something. It's
Okay.
like they're only selling to each other.
Turn it on the walk back.
Yep.
You know, I mean that's just bizarre. Well, no pun intended, but you know, traveling with some of the more colorful characters that I have had the misfortune of seeing a lot of very bad plays in my life. And I mean, it was like they were all just going through the motions of what it meant to be a merchant selling their wares, like someone who wrote a play about merchants but didn't really work very hard on it. I wonder if they might have been a little, touched, or some repercussions of whatever it is that Father Grimm did to them.
I haven't seen many people who have lost all hope, but I have noticed that occasionally they seem to go through the motions because it's all they have left. It's a weird thing to see a broken person like that, but I've seen it before. But I mean, I plan to go over either way because they got popcorn and beaded belts, which appeals to both of my natures.
I mean, I don't know really. I don't think there's much else that a man needs in life, but those two things. But perhaps we should be a little less confrontational about telling them what they do is wrong or something like that. Just let's not make waves as we learn what we can when we visit them later this evening.
I agree. I wouldn't have it any other way. My real concern is every alley we go out, are we going to have to take another increasingly long trip to run these people home? I mean, I want to make sure they can get home, but this is going to take forever if that's how we do it.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know if... I mean, saving these people and getting them back into town, especially if they're not completely lost, might be what we're out here to do. I know that Lucius vaguely wants to find his parents, but I suppose finding purpose along the way is where we're at so far.
All right. I see what you're saying.
And you find your way back to the pack and have a day's rest, as your world is pretty much topsy-turvy. A finger is in the air. Yes.
Can I just continue with either the thermos for tinkering?
Yep, either or. Take 3 hours more.
Okay.
Give you
how long?
Because you're gonna have to rest too, right? So.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, I didn't want to do it too long. It just helps Lucius think,
Yep.
So.
And each in your own way, you settle down for the day. And at the end of that rest, our poor production office all by himself up there in the dark, people dropping like flies. Okay, we will continue on the show. It must go on. We, later in that day, everybody wakes up to find, are we wandering off? Oh, I see. We're just trying to get faces back in boxes. Gotcha. Okay, hang on. There we go. I'm back. Okay. So with that, we get you guys back to where you were. You get a rest. You get an evening of days of rest. The whole time in the distance, you can see these little trails and wisps of smoke on this next island. And after that, you are free to continue on. You wake up, not rested well, but enough. Your ship is now, as far as I am concerned, free flying. I don't think it needs to be tied to the rope anymore if you don't want it to be. You've got a steam engine powered with 2 big fans on the back. You can now steer it accurately. Short of a large windstorm, you guys are in control of it as far as I'm concerned. So you load up, and what's the plan?
Alice once again takes off the captain's hat and puts it back on Jet's. But she doesn't like behind him. She just plops it on Jet's head.
Yep. On top of his other hat.
She says, You wanted better steering and you got it, so you're up.
Yay.
She claps him on the back.
So you grab the wheel, and it's like, hey, when I turn right, it turns right now. When I turn left, it turns left. It's not ass backwards anymore. And then you think, but wait, it's loose. It comes, when I pull back, we go up, and when I push forward, we go down. So you have actually got like a joystick rudder assembly there.
Why, Captain Jet, that seems mighty powerful. One could even call it power steering.
Oh, this man.
And in lieu of applause, the steam engine downstairs starts up as Lucius fires it up, and you hear.
I imagine that this Alice is like, but steer are cattle, and that no, whatever.
I think I need
Jet
a
thinks
door.
he's standing in the part of the ship called steerage, but he doesn't understand. Yeah. You're a cowboy. You would know what steers were.
I know what a steer is. I'm saying, though, there ain't no steers driving this thing. It's completely different.
Ah.
This is more like, I don't know, if birds flew something. But there's no birds.
So you take off. Where are you going?
I guess to that next island. Why are you pouting down there?
How high up are you going to go?
Hey, how high do we want to go? I mean, like, we want to see that next island, right? I know I'm driving, but, like, you know.
I mean,
You're in trouble when the captain's asking for advice.
This is high enough, right? I mean, we're not on the ground.
Yep.
That seems to be the height one would like to fly at.
Yeah, but now that I can control it, I mean, we could go as high as we want. We could go.
Well, sometimes when things go really high, like a balloon, it'll pop. I think. I don't know if helium's
I was gonna say, do
a
we
thing,
know
but
that?
I'll
probably
take a
shouldn't.
physics. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, helium.
That's probably good.
Helium balloons blow up within visual sight if you've ever let one go.
We're not going very far for this one,
No.
so if we
No,
don't
it's
go
only-
too high, then we don't have to spend a lot of time coming back down.
Yeah.
All
You're
right.
the I don't know, when we're flying, you're flying it, you're the fly it.
The fly.
Maybe that's what we call the person that's in charge of
A fly-let?
flying. The fly it.
You fly lot.
The fly
Well, I'm pretty sure that we heard the
Fly
word
it.
pilot many times with ornithopters, so maybe we stick with that one.
but why?
Yeah, this is different. This is a balloon.
So it's a quarter mile. We're there by now, right?
You're pretty much sure. You're pretty much there. Yeah. As you're arguing, as you guys approach, yeah, it's like a mall with no customers in it. But every once in a while they run. Like right now it's but they're running. The staff is occasionally runs to another store to get something.
Oh, so like the Fort Saskatchewan Mall. I wish Hannah was there because she would have got that.
But yeah, you guys are floating above this, and there are people screaming up at you, trying to sell you everything. They're holding up beaded belts. They're holding up jerky and all kinds of product. Chickens. Everything is for sale.
You know, can you just have us hover here for a second? Can you like turn off the fans?
I think I can do that.
Well, it may be worth trying to figure this out. I mean, stopping to discuss what's going on with these folks might give us some more information, but also if they're still trying to sell us things. It's like they don't even realize that there's a dirigible above them. I would hate to think that whatever lunacy has infected them could touch us. Miss Alice, kind of along the lines of what you were saying.
Yeah. It's, like I said, we don't know how it works. But
Jet, also, you pointed out that this may be the opportunity to save a few more souls.
Potentially. I mean, if they seem to have food. I don't know if they have water, and I don't know, again, like you said, I don't know how.
well, here's a question I raise.
Oh, well, luckily I did make sure to grab a couple of barrels of water before we left the place with lots of barrels of water. That happened. Everybody remembers it.
Yeah.
Chat, you remember?
It happened. But Alice says, well, I mean, as far as saving them, the last people, they didn't have anything. These people, they have things. So maybe we take a moment to see if we can figure out what's happening here, and then continue on and save everyone after we've cut this off at the source.
Could we get low enough to yell over the sound of
Well, there's a rope ladder, right? So if we hovered low enough and somebody wanted to climb down,
I could go down, ask a few questions. If you want, just in case, tie me up in case I start acting weird. Maybe if I get pulled into some sort of a fashion,
Tie me up and lower me into a cloud of strangers.
Yeah, how about you?
I mean, I've been fishing.
Hi, we're
Lucius.
friendly.
How about we dangle the rope ladder just high enough so people can't grab you? Because, I mean, look, I don't take too kindly to solicitors. So, maybe just be careful. I don't want them ripping you apart, trying to sell you things and take your clothes, whatever they do. I don't want no Girl Scout cookies. Stop talking to me when I try to go to the store.
Just come back with a bunch of merchandise. Oh my god.
look, I got a beaded belt, and look at this.
I don't know what this doohickey is, but you put 2 beers in here and you can just
I'm pretty sure that we just learned about some personal tragedy in Jet's life, but I do like the idea of not actually going into the crowd of folks. I mean, if they can't be bothered to hold a conversation with something as fantastical as this, then maybe we don't need to talk to them at all.
Alright, well, we're low enough now, so if one of y'all want to get out on that ladder.
Yeah, I think we drop the ladder. I mean, we can take 5 minutes to do, to...
Yeah. Well,
See
Lucy,
how they
you may
respond.
recognize someone, so actually
That's
you
what
go
I'm
not a bad
That's what
idea.
I'm hoping.
So you flip over the rail.
I go up to jokingly go up just to Jet and do you still want one of those beaded belts?
I mean, I'll never say no to a beaded belt.
Gotcha.
Lucius, give me a guts check as you look over this railing.
Okay,
Remember, this is a world with no high rises. There's no... You've never been this far off the ground in your life.
And I still have a rope just in case for safety.
Yep.
In case I fall.
Yep. Give me guts. Yeah.
I'm usually good at this.
You vomit all over the people.
No, he gets the rope around his belt, and you guys notice his hands are shaking a little bit. He gets one leg over the rail, and then just freezes, sitting on top of the rail. As he looks over the edge, he just stops.
Nope.
It's 40 feet.
I give up a chip. I'm not do. I don't have
Shove
time
it.
for this.
Okay. Oh wow.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
if you don't do it, one of us is gonna kick you over the right.
I'll
So
shove
what,
myself. Thank you very much.
Lucius,
give it a
don't
wee
worry. If you fall, I'll shoot you so you die before you hit the ground.
I find that very comforting for some reason. I don't know why.
No, I
Okay.
pull out my pistol.
At the very least, you believe him.
He's got a rope around him.
So it's that
like
just
that.
barely you gulp and over the rail and start wobbling down the ladder. You're kind of like doing that sort of down the ladder one thing
Yeah.
at a time, but you're going, and the whole ladder, the whole ladder's just shaking. You guys can feel the whole boat's kind of vibrating as he goes down the ladder. But as you
Ladders
get
are
closer,
hard to climb.
rope ladders are real serious, difficult, challenging thing to do.
Woo.
But yes, you get down a little lower and you go out of focus briefly, and then when you come back, they're down. There's several of them down below you, reaching up towards you. Come, land, buy our things.
No, thank you. I was just wondering if you could tell me a bit, like, why you're all here, for instance. For starters.
He said we couldn't sell, and we insisted on selling, and the next thing we know, they were gone, and we were here selling.
I see. So, you are all the merchants of Los Angeles?
Hemrick Fine, at your service. And he reaches his hand up towards you, even though there's no way. You'd have to come down and shake his hand.
I just kind of do like an air shake, you know? It's like, I'm good here.
Right.
Social distancing.
Yeah. Pleasure.
I'm the leader of the business owners, retailers, and entrepreneurial services.
I see.
He gestures grandly at the block behind him.
I see. So I'm assuming Father Grimm had no use for you all.
All we wanted was to set up one day. One day was all we asked for. We just wanted one market day for some of the people with the eggs and the milk and the things that were going bad.
I mean,
And he said we could set up, and then we set up, and then they left.
Oh, I see. You set up here?
Yes.
Ah.
You know, though, now that I think about, it's been a little manic.
How so?
We haven't closed the doors since we got here.
Is it somewhat like compelling you to do this? You feel compelled?
He freezes. And I don't mean like he doesn't know what to say, but I mean like the people around him are.
What was the last thing he said to you all before you left?
One of the other ones looks up at you and says, that our need for money would be our downfall?
Capitalism, gasp.
It's a curse.
Did you see my family by any chance? Have you heard of the Glories or perhaps the Silvers?
Speaking of silver, you know what's not free? Information. Information isn't free. Do you have dollars?
I give him a very intimidating look. The
Yep.
voice and the
Yep.
look all at once, and
Yep.
and I just simply say no.
Is that with those bonuses in?
Yep.
Okay.
What did I roll?
No, you rolled an 11. I just want to give him a chance here. This is a retailer, so he is going to get a chance to resist this. He looks up at you, holds your eye, just like stares at you, just like he's waiting for you to give him money, and then finally he kind of cracks a little bit. Says, "We also take barter. You got stuff you don't want, we can trade."
How about you stop with this bullshit and let me figure this out, and eventually if we get this done, we can get you off this island.
Why would I want off the island? How about a belt? I have belts too.
Oh, you're hopeless. Okay.
That hat's really nice. I'll trade you the hat for 2 belts.
Absolutely not.
What did you do to Henrik?
Hendrik?
He
I asked
pokes the stiff guy.
Oh, yes, him. Well, I asked him a few questions. What was the last thing I asked him? What, did you feel compelled? That's right. Okay, I'll poke at that again and say, do you feel compelled to sell me these things?
It's not so much a compulsion, it's a...
That's
And
interesting.
he locks up.
Huh. Is it the word itself, or is it the items that they sell that are cursed? I'm wondering. I'm not taking that risk. Okay.
Hey,
You not
how's it going down there?
Not great. Every time I tell them that I ask them if they feel compelled, they freeze. I don't know why.
What do you mean? Like they don't know what to say?
Give him a jacket.
No, they just freeze. Like literally, they can't move, and they just kind of like shut down in a sense.
Oh, shut down. Well, what do they want?
This sounds like... damn it.
What?
This sounds like maybe some mind tricks. Some mind invasion might be...
Would you like to take a crack at this?
Well, maybe just come back up for a minute.
I'll be back.
He's frozen. He's not going anywhere.
Keep an eye on that guy.
There's 2 of them frozen now, and a third one has stepped forward, and he's just waiting at the bottom of the ladder.
They're forming a line.
Basically, yeah.
So I report in detail everything that I said to them and asked
Why
them.
didn't you just give him $1?
That's what I'm saying. Just give them a stimulus package. The people need it. Their economy's shut down. It's the least we could do.
Why didn't you just give him $1? What in the world?
Or a quarter. Make it hail.
$1 is a lot of money in 1890.
Oh, Alice
I
pulls out her
mind.
$400 in her pocket and is like, I guess.
I was just annoyed because I didn't want to deal with this. So,
I mean, look,
it was very pushy.
I do think that Miss Alice has an interesting point here. Now, they seem to have provisions. They're not in the kind of dire straits that the rest are, but they also seem uninterested in being saved.
They don't want to leave. That's the other thing.
That's why I said we
could go down there and try to right this terrible wrong and figure out what has happened, or we could push on.
Give me 3 minutes.
You don't think there's anything else that we can get out of this? Like,
well,
just give them a roll of pennies and let them split them.
like, was there any
That's a
information
good
that
face.
we got from the other group that we saved that's consistent with this one?
Not that I remember.
But the others were farther away.
Other than the fires, which I don't fully understand.
The others were farther away too. So it stands to reason that the closer you get to him, the stronger this, whatever it is.
Is it perhaps all symbolism, burning of books, and like merchants compelled to sell things?
Well,
It almost sounds like something from Dante's Inferno.
Well, you said that they wanted to stop and sell, right? So to me,
Well, yeah, I mean,
from
based
Father
off what-
Grimm's perspective, it sounds like he just gave them what they wanted.
Yeah,
The last
some
thing he
perverse
said
way,
was-
like a curse.
The
or
last
something.
thing he told them was that money will be their downfall.
And
Right.
here they are, and they can't do anything other than engage in commerce.
Right.
Baptiste. This question for you, because I can't remember. I know there's a thing about this. There's something. Daddy used to talk about it. There were 8 heaven there were these things that humanity fell into, and it was written about. They were the downfalls of man. There was a number, and they were like something about sins.
Yeah, seven. There are
Seven deadly sins.
There are 7 deadly sins, and there are 7 holy virtues. Yeah. I mean, covet. Yeah, to covet, greed.
The last people on the last island couldn't work. Either couldn't or wouldn't.
Sloth.
I wonder.
Possibly.
Greed.
Greed for these ones.
So what? The next are we saying that the next island is going to be a bunch of drama queens? Like what?
I don't know.
Well, I do not believe that engaging in the arts is one of the deadly sins. However, wrath.
I was talking about pride.
Going to
island.
I was talking about pride. We some prideful mother.
Well, Miss Alice, I
nice.
believe that if we come across the island where pride is the problem, perhaps you should not be the one to engage with them.
Or perhaps I should be exactly the one.
I was gonna say we could
okay,
leave
It'll
it
make
there.
you the queen.
Okay, so
Skip Wrath Island.
Alice tried to because I made a guts roll. She like went to climb down, and then
Yep.
she was like, "But."
Oh no, I saw that. I just assumed
Nope.
you're at the edge and like still talking, but ignoring the fact that you don't want to go over the edge anymore.
Not
Yeah.
as easy as it looks, does it?
I mean, I do think it does beg the question: do we want to go down there, hope that we are immune, and try to figure out how to save these people, if it's possible, or do we move on?
I think, honestly, I think moving on would be the best course.
Well,
but
I was
at
gonna
the same time, if I may, sorry, I kind of just want to test if we are immune to this or not.
What were you saying, Miss Alice?
I was gonna just dig into one of them's heads.
Hey,
Can you do that from up here, from this far away?
Well, it's harder from farther away.
Can we go lower?
I don't want them to be able to climb the rope.
I mean, if we pull the rope ladder up.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, we could do that.
I am pulling the rope ladder up.
Because we can see through the floor, right?
Yeah, you've got. I mean, you got. There's portholes and stuff in this boat. It's easy enough to get you. I mean, actually, there's holes where the wheels go. So yeah, you can actually go and hang out the bottom, physically.
Yeah. Well,
Close
yeah.
enough to
So
do this to
I'll with if we go pull the rope ladder up, we'll go lower, and I'll try to look through, and
I mean,
I'll.
they're just people. Get within 20 feet of the ground.
Yeah, I'll try it within. I'll try one of the frozen ones, I guess,
That's a good
Oh,
idea.
okay.
because
Yes.
they can't really object. It would
Yep,
seem,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and this is a way to see if their minds still work, or kind of what has
I'm
happened.
assuming you're tied securely.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just like,
She's in the boat. Yeah, she's just
Peeking
looking through one of the
Okay,
exit
never mind.
holes.
yeah.
Never mind.
Oh my god.
But please, y'all know that I go limp like when I
Yeah.
do this, so I'm hoping that somebody is like,
You wake up tied
Let's see.
in a bunch of different ways to the ship.
yeah, pretty much.
Muted round.
In an odd position that doesn't seem to have anything to do with your personal safety.
Yeah. Why am I hanging from the sit? Whatever. All right.
Give me a roll, please.
So it's
Give me
cognition,
a-
right?
Yep, absolutely. Because you think yourself into these
Whoop.
people's.
17.
Yeah. You've been in enough heads now.
I was
You
fully
know what
prepared to
they're
use a
like.
chip, but dang.
You dead just don't need no chip. You know what it's like. You've been in enough heads now to know what it's like, where there's these secret compartments, there's the public space in the middle that you're allowed in. This is like walking into a bank. It's just every perception in here is about gathering, gaining more. It's just avarice and greed.
Does it seem naturally there, or like it has been placed there?
It has absolutely been placed there.
Can I break some of that down to see what lies beyond.
Give me another cognition
Like
roll.
a metaphorical sledgehammer.
Yep.
That's an 8.
Would you care to add anything to that?
What is it? What's the... I hate that I have to ask this every time, but I can never freaking remember.
A blue is add and roll. A white is roll one of that kind of die again. A red I won't mention because you guys never use them because it means I get one.
Yeah.
Mama didn't raise no fool.
All right. So it's and if I do it, it's keep all, right? If I do a white. Or
yeah, and then just roll 1d whatever that
right,
is.
so I'll use a white chip.
Okay.
Because it's a D10.
So you roll 1d10.
it's my-
Meh. Yeah, you kind of reach around and try and make sense out of this. You find almost like a node, like a focus. And as you look towards it, it turns and looks at you. And it's a huge green eye.
Sauron.
And
A
you
huge
hear
green
a voice. You hear a voice in your head that says, "You have many nice things. I want them all."
I hit whatever the mind version of the eject button is. Whatever it is that Alice does to be like, nope.
And you slam back into your body in the bottom of the boat. The rest of you are, I'm assuming, gathered around in some way, shape, or form. You see her come back. And you, at the far end of the street, the ground starts to erupt.
Oh, shit.
And one huge arm comes out. And another one.
What?
And the head comes out. It looks very much like Baphomet did.
Jet, you might want
Demonic,
to
devilish form. As it comes up, all the stuff from all the shops, just like a vacuum cleaner, and sticks all over it like armor. I want it all of it. And you, and he points a huge finger at Baptiste.
Friend of yours?
That's different. And that's where we'll take our break.
No! Oh, no!
Yay, we get to fight greed.
I feel real bad.
Yeah, well.
What did you do?
You should have poked him in the eye.
Or just poke it, I left.
Or we should have just given him some damn pennies.
I was honestly going to throw a note with some money.
This is because Sam wouldn't give him $1.
I was going to do it afterwards. Sorry, and thank you for your time.
Here's that little behind the screen thing that not all DMs do. Throwing money at it would have had the same trigger effect. There's a number of things that could have triggered this, and giving them money was one of them.
Yeah, there's a number of things that could have triggered this, and anything you did is what would have triggered it.
Yeah.
You had the possibility.
He was not throwing away this 6 pages of combat they were about to go through.
I learned my lesson. This is only 4 lines. Anyway, we will see how this plays out after the break. We'll be back in 20 minutes, folks. Our imminent return has happened and occurred, and we are back for the second part of this, which is starting with some extreme violence. So let's just get right back into it, shall we? On the ground, I mean, you guys are almost down. You're sort of the bottom of your vessel is sort of within 20 feet of the surface of this island. The people below you looking up at you, none of them even blinked an eye when this thing shattered through at the end of the market street and started sucking up
because
all
as
their
Alice
possessions.
knows, it was already inside their heads.
It's already in all of them, yes. and it starts sucking all of their stuff, all of their wares, onto itself as a form of armor.
Alice says, Alice quickly describes what she saw inside the frozen one's head. And she says, so I say if he wants stuff, and she points to the big daddies, she says, you give him stuff.
Well, I'm gonna give him stuff. I don't like that Sarah and I have gotten to know each other well, because now she has my ideas as I have them.
Welcome to one of those unintended added benefits of Dungeons and Dragons and other role-playing games. Gets you inside your friend's head so far you can see out of their eyes.
And Jackbox.
Quickbox, I almost said. Quickness rolls, please.
Oh boy. Oh, here we go. We're jumping into it.
I don't know if I remember how to do combat.
It's all the way down at the right, bottom right hand side for quickness.
Oh, what do we do if we tie, Marshall?
It's how many cards you get. Let me just deal me mine.
Oh yeah, I forgot that is how it works.
See?
So yeah, divided by 5, rounded down. So Alice, you get 1. Baptiste, you get 4 cards. And Lucius, you get 1 as well.
Wait, what? Why can't I see my...
that was my cards, by the way.
Can you take my chips?
I certainly can.
Yeah, can you get rid of my chips, please? And I feel like my cards are going to be hard to get to because of the layout of the screen. Never mind. I just changed my screen.
I meant to ask,
zoom in and out yet.
Can you use a chip to add like one? What would you do to add like 1 extra die to your quickness?
To your quickness?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, can you? I don't know.
Watch me go.
What do you want? What do I got to get you for that?
Well, what's your quickness? It's just like any other roll. I don't see why you couldn't add to it.
Oh, I meant like, I rolled a 19, and essentially I just want to be able to add anything to get it to 20.
Yeah.
So is that a white or a blue? Oh,
okay. No, wait a minute. It would have to be a blue, because white is roll 1 die instead of. Yeah, blue is an add. So you don't have to roll it. Just burn a blue chip, and you automatically would get to 20, which would get you 4.
Whatever, we'll leave it alone. It was an idea, but we'll deal with it.
Hey man, it's cool. Like some of us just get 4 without burning chips.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And the nice thing with this system is even if you got 1, you could still go first if you drew that king.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, look at that. I wonder what that.
Hey, speak of the devil. I mean, I don't know what I got.
I gotta look at it.
Yeah, just drew 3 kings of spades. It's amazing.
Yeah, weird.
It's amazing how that worked. It's weird. Speaking of kings. Got 1. All right.
Where do you want me to drop it?
Just put it out on the screen there somewhere. There you go.
So yeah, I'm gonna take Miss Alice's advice because I was already gonna do it, and
yep.
That's it. Yeah, that's just a hang out the way. How far are we from him? Or is he close, like near us? Where like, can I chuck this at him?
It's at this point he's a long block away from you, because you guys came sort of down at this end of the street, and you're talking to them here. The closest point where you contacted them. This is the other end of the street. Is where he's coming up through the ground. But he's huge. Like he's the width of the road.
This is super important. How heavy are these big daddies?
Oh, you're not throwing a big daddy this far, no.
No. How heavy are they? Can I plausibly lift it as a crow, or is it way too heavy?
No.
Okay.
No. Not a chance, no. These were big enough to blow up a balloon, so.
Well, then I guess since I'm already at the wheel, I'll do the right thing, and I will get us in closer. Not lower. In fact, I might even go up a little bit, just to make sure it can't reach us, but I will get us at least over it. Closer.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing.
Give me, we were using deafness for your piloting skill, right?
Yes. Does it change since you said we pretty much had it like fixed now, so it's
Alright.
not difficult?
No, just don't roll poorly this time, otherwise you'll wreck the narrative.
I don't know. I never know what.
Did you not
poorly
hear what the
is.
man just said?
I rolled a technical 1 success, depending on what the.
You
challenge
did.
is.
That blue die, that blue chip you were talking about earlier.
Bite me.
Whoa.
All right,
Open
fine.
revolt
Crash
on
the
the boat.
ship.
I'm kidding.
You for a split second you think to yourself, oh, I remember, left goes right, right goes left, and you start and you go, no, wait a minute, they fixed that, and you bring it back. And yes,
boy.
you do manage to what were you attempting to do? You trying to get closer? You said higher, right?
If he's here and we were here, I'm essentially trying to get over it. Like I'm trying, not like crazy high, but well without a reach, so he can't just come up and swipe. But like
Right.
close enough where if we need to drop down and shoot it, or if I can drop something on it, you know.
I see where you're going with this. Yeah, you get it pointed towards him and starting to climb, but you're not getting that kind of clearance yet.
God.
Queens.
So I have a queen, but I'm gonna
Okay.
hold it in my sleeve until for a few moments.
Absolutely.
I also have a queen.
Okay. Which species of queen is that?
Diamonds.
Diamonds. Let me have a look here. I'm trying to remember which one is which. You go ahead.
All right. You said I wasn't quite where I wanted to be with that, moving the ship.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I guess.
So
I
give me
used-
another deftness to try and pilot again. Yeah.
God, I just had. There it is.
Oh,
A little better.
a little better.
Slightly better. You're starting to lift now. You've got the front rising, and you're getting sort of above it. Unfortunately for you, at this point, from the ground behind its shoulders, there's a and its wings come out.
No, thank
And
you.
it leaps up off the ground and attacks the boat.
We need that boat.
Oh wow. Yeah, its fingers rake across the bottom of the boat and just spin the one wheel. So one of the four wheels is now going, and there's a bit of a groove across the bottom of the boat, but that is it. Jacks. Tens. Attacks the boat again.
It's been a pleasure serving with y'all.
Oh,
Let's hit
that one hits.
+1, so let's do the damage. So
Ouch.
it reaches up and grabs, like I said, it spun the wheel the first time. The other hand comes up, grabs that wheel, and pulls the wheel off and the axle assembly off the boat.
Alice. So now that he's like positioned directly under the boat. Sorry, Jet. I'm so sorry, but it needs to happen.
All right, grab it. You gotta grab it off of me. I'm gonna let you. I'm not gonna stop you, of course.
Alice is. Oh, here, let me put my card out. Alice is prepping. Where'd it go? I don't know where it went. But Alice is prepping
It's up there. Yeah, I see it.
She's dropping this big daddy.
Okay. Give me a deftness to try and drop it on him. You're above him.
I imagine I'm piloting, and I feel one of them off my hip, and I'm just like, I
And
didn't say you could grab my big daddy.
And she absolutely, she's like, I'm so sorry. I know you wanted to do this, but where in the hello fuzzy is deafness?
It's its own trait. Second on the left-hand side, right below.
Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. That was, all right. Whoa, that's a 20.
That is a 20. That absolutely categorically lands right on its head. Can you do a keep all for me?
Yeah.
And roll, if you will, 6d12, please.
Jet, I'm so sorry.
I mean, hey, you know.
Oh
my god.
That's a 21.
That is horrible. Oh my goodness. Okay, it drops down, kind of bounces off his forehead and goes off right in front of his chest. And the damage spreads out all across his body, but every single bit of it is absorbed by that stuff. So there's beaded belts blasted off, there's popcorn bags blasted off, there's chickens, It did 4 wounds spread over his body, and all of that was absorbed by his armor. Jacks? Oh no, that was 10s. That was 10s. Yep.
No, I was just going to say Alice is like, well, shit.
8s?
Well, I have a 9. I didn't hear.
Oh, 9? Okay, yeah.
So if we're over it, yeah, I'm gonna, I saw that happen, and I'm like, well, waste not, want not, I suppose. It was a learning experience, though. Thank you, Miss Alice. And, God, I hope y'all trust me. I take 2 of them. I'll not drop, but I'll sit the other one down, because I have them on me, so I have 2 of them, I guess, because there were 4, right? And I was carrying them?
Yep.
I take 2 of them, and I leave 1 more for them, and I jump out of the ship into it.
Okay.
Gotta trust me. I swear I'm not.
Well, then we could stop you.
No.
I always gotta kill you.
Not unless the ground does first.
Another one bites the dust.
You're absolutely right.
Ellie is just what Lucius likes to call the ground, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Ryan, you're absolutely right. I forgot completely. You have an ace?
Don't worry about it. Jet's in the middle of the air. Let's do this.
Sorry, it's next round. Sorry, I started at kings instead of aces. You're right. Okay, so you dive off the boat, flying through the air with 2 of these things on you. So what is the plan?
Here is the plan, as I imagine it. We are diving down into this thing, and the moment we would hit it, we are fading. We are dropping these inside it, which I assume is a hostile environment, and if not, I'll give them a shape. And we're fading. I guess, I don't know if I can fade and do Raven, but I'm going to try it at the last second and just pull out, like in pro form. This is one hell of a plan.
Okay. That's the plan.
you about to have to dance your ass off. This
Seriously.
works.
That's amazing.
Give me a deafness.
For
This better be stunning for just getting the timing, like just the timing right.
All right.
Okay.
I will burn a chip to do more if I need to.
I believe in you. Like, that doesn't add anything, but I believe in you.
Believe in the me that believes in
It
you.
means a lot to me, though. So.
Oh man.
You dive towards it, and it kind of looks up at you, and you go right past its chin, and right there on the chest. You fade away, and hit the chest.
Oh no. Oh,
The two boxes beside you explode. You're gone. You're not here. You're ethereal, but you're not inside it.
Okay. Well, that's good. How bad did that hurt? That had to hurt. I was diving into this game.
Oh yeah, you went into this thing hard. We're going to get to that in a second.
See? What do we see?
You see me even when I'm ethereal.
Oh, we do see.
You see,
okay.
yeah, he is absolutely. He
So we
jumps
see
off
you
the
go-
side of hits this. There's a double explosion. Roll me 60-12 twice, please, using keep all for the damage.
Oh. 6 12.
Yep.
Let me do it again.
51. Okay, that is significant damage. Now roll the second one. And here's a neat trick in Roll20. If you click in the chat box and just push the little up, there's the 4 directional buttons on your keyboard,
Yes.
left, right, down. If you just push up, it automatically reloads that roll for you.
Oh, I already have it pulled
And then
up.
It already brings up the macro or whatever you use, whatever
Oh.
command you used.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hit
So if you're always doing the same shot, you can do that. Just up and go up and enter, up and enter. Anyway,
Interesting.
first one does 51, so that's 10 wounds, okay? Second one does 38. That is 7 wounds, 17 wounds.
Dad is home
Yeah.
and very hurt. In the middle of these explosions, you just hear it's like, okay.
So you hit all this stuff, like this equipment and you get your beaded belt in the
Yeah.
face.
That's mine. I earned that.
This was the plan the whole time.
Hey, this didn't work. Boom! It goes off. First, 5 wind for fading out of the round. Yeah. And now, the physical damage of smashing against him from 30 feet up, it's not going to be that much.
900.
12. So you take 2 wounds to the, where would it be? To your legs. So 1 to each leg. And wind. That's 2, 6 wind. I'm actually going to remember the wind this week. Hopefully, you take 16 points of wind. So you come back from your out-of-body experience. You hit him physically. You go ethereal. The explosions go off. You come back to physical, curled up against his chest. On the bright side, what you guys see from above is almost all of the stuff has now been blown off of him. He doesn't appear to be armored anymore. But there's only one little wound, like a bruise, where one of the bombs went off.
Right where
You
the nipple
just
was.
barely done any physical damage to him, but you have removed his armor. And Jet is now holding on to... Demons have chest hair? Better hope so, because otherwise it's a nipple.
I'll take the nipple.
There's your thumbnail quote.
There's your quote. Yeah, that's at what time was that?
Please don't do that.
So you are hanging off of his chest at this moment. That was a what was that? A 9?
That was a 8, and I've got 7.
8. You got a 7, okay?
I actually got I got 2 7s.
Okay.
That's right. You
get
got
to go
4
twice.
freaking cards.
I know,
Yep.
right? Yeah, I got 2 7s. So I will. What I would say is that he's just because he already had 1 pistol out,
Oh, yeah.
pulling the second one out, and he's just tracking. I'll trust Jet. It doesn't look like it's going well, but I'll trust him.
Yep.
And then he just unloads, and so he can double tap both pistols, burning both
Yep.
7s. So I'm taking 4 shots. Now,
Yep.
you said it's one little area, but this guy is really big.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a negative modifier it is to hit the area with no armor that he just blew off.
Yep.
So let me
Absolutely,
ask
that's-
this
yeah.
before he decides what he's aiming at.
Yeah.
The area with no armor that Jet just blew off, is that bigger or smaller than this thing's big green eyeball?
Much bigger. The armor is basically gone off the front of the torso.
Then I'll shoot at the front of the torso then.
Okay.
So that's
So up come the pistols.
4 shots. Sorry, I lost my page. There it is.
No
All right, so I got
problem.
4 shots with the pistols. I'm finding them.
It's all good. It's been a while.
All right, so 7 of spades.
Okay. Wow.
And the 7 of clubs. I do one thing. I have one job on this ship.
You have one thing. Total damage. Well, just because you focused it all down. Okay. You put. I mean, it's just the way. Correct me if this isn't right, but the way I see it is, you start walking towards the front of the boat, and just like this one's out, and just pop, 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 and the cluster is this big, right beside Jet. Just 4 wonderful shots right into the body. They're big chunks of meat. Jet, you see chunks of meat and demon blood spraying out all over the place. And it looks down at the wound and looks down at you. And it's been waiting. I've had this sitting there the whole time. Just reaches up, Jet, and just...
Oh. Can I stay fate? Oh shit, it won't matter. Oh no.
Let's see if it hits. Only, just barely. But it does.
I would like to wait. Can I prevent the damage?
You can prevent the wounds. Yeah. There are 4 wounds coming your way.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that today. And by preventing the wound, you negate the wind completely.
Yes. Yep. Okay. You don't take the wound. You don't take the wind.
We're gonna do that.
So yes, then. You're looking at 4 wounds and 4 rolls of wind if you don't prevent it.
All right. So that's.
So how much are you stopping?
I'm spending white chips. I'm getting rid of all 4 wounds. We're having none of that.
You're always spending 4 white chips to get rid of 4 white wounds? Or 4 wounds?
That's right? Yep. That's how that works?
Yep, 1 per wound. Yep, absolutely. Works for me. We'll get you buried down. So yeah, and you just at the last second, you just curl up and you get caught in the palm. You know, he had his hand cupped. The pressure in your ears is just a...
Oh. Ellie's back, right as Jet fucking almost died.
Perfect, because I was just about to have to play her because she was going to have to try and save your life. Can you hear us, Hannah?
Yeah, finally.
Okay, thank you so much for continuing to try and getting back.
Everything's fine.
No,
we're
fine.
Except that just below you, Jet is now hanging off the chest of a huge demon that he tried to blow up and it didn't work very well. The demon just slapped him, and as far as you can tell, he damn near died, but somehow got himself protected. But he's like 30 feet below you off the boat.
I leave for an hour, and you kids just get in so much trouble.
Yep. You're in so much trouble. There's now, Jet. Your sister's ship. Back. Yeah.
Can we leave out the part where Alice started? I mean, wait.
I don't even want to know.
What would you do?
So
this huge demon was attacking the boat, and now Jet's just like up against its chest. 4 big bullet holes beside him.
Chest?
Oh yeah.
Oh good.
Voluntarily.
All the big daddies are gone.
There's one.
Yep. No, there's left just one, I think.
Yeah.
You can drop it on me if you want. I can take it.
Take it, big daddy.
As someone who's already been blown up by dynamite twice, I'm not going to do that to you.
I will, don't worry.
Yeah, Alice, that's Alice's thing, so I'll leave it with her.
What would you like to do? And welcome back.
Thank you. I love the internet right now. It works great. Am I able to... So he just got hurt, right? And he's stuck against...
Actually, he resisted all the damage. He burned a bunch of chips to save himself. But yeah.
We're still on the ship, but he's on top of a giant demon, basically.
Okay, I'm gonna try something weird. Am I able to... I want to grab a card and throw it at him and try to, like, create almost like a shield between him and the thing.
I love it. Roll me the stat that we decided on for your magic.
Okay.
Hell.
Didn't we make her a new stat called common decency or something? Or
Empathy, but close
that.
enough.
Empathy, yeah. Yeah, give me an empathy roll. Let's break all these rules. Okay. That is one success. So you draw 6 cards and make the best poker hand you can. Hang on, let me recall all of these ones that are on the table. And recall all the ones that are on the table. There we go. So now it's a nice clean place to work. So draw 6 cards.
6 cards?
6 cards, yeah. And pull them all on the table. We make the best poker hand we can out of this.
Okay. Well,
Oh.
I've got 2 aces.
Whoa!
So that's good.
6, 8, 10, 2 aces. And what's the last 2?
It's trying to. Why is it not dragging out?
Oh,
It's a
hang on.
queen. But it's.
Oh, I can't. Okay, it's a queen, so that doesn't help. So, pair of aces. So, yeah, you pull this. This only happens in your head. You pull the one card off the deck. You look at it. It's an ace that's half a diamond and half a club, and you just flick it. Like, I forget the name of the superhero, and I probably don't want to say it anyway, so I won't have to pay anything. And it goes right. It comes down, just about takes off your nose. Gets between you and it, and sticks to the between your chest and its chest. You feel like a flash of warmth. It seems to have worked.
Whoa.
That's my specialty. Barriers and teddy bears.
Thank
Oh
you.
my. Oh my.
Thank you. Please don't kill me later.
But we're now down to what was next? 4s, was it?
Which I believe, yeah, I've got myself a 4.
Get 4s.
I've got nothing left.
So, so there's a big, how far away is this thing? You said about 20.
You guys are climbing. You're now above, almost directly above it, and probably. I mean, actually, you know what? It's right there because it was just trying to rip the undercarriage off of your boat.
And you said it's covered in the stuff from these merchants, which I would assume is a lot of like wood and cloth and stuff like that.
Yep, absolutely. The back, and the appendages are still covered. The chest, he's blown most of that armor away. So.
Okay, so if we're right over the top of it, oh man,
Yep.
this is gonna suck. Baptiste in one swift move, I think that's fair to say.
Yep.
He holsters one of the guns.
That's quick undraw.
An undraw, yeah. An erase. That's an undraw, right?
Yeah.
Erase.
Yeah.
And yeah, 20 yards. That's within 30 feet.
Oh yeah.
So this is going to cost me quite a bit. This is going to cost me 5 wind. And you hear him ramble off sort of in broken, like he starts sweating really hard and takes a small step away from whoever he's standing next to, and he's kind of babbling in Latin and in French back and forth and spending 5 wind. That should be, I don't have this as a macro, so I'll apologize.
No
When
problem.
you roll an attack, is that keep all?
Roll to see if you hit is keep 1. The damage is keep all.
It hits.
Okay.
So
So yeah, just keep all for the damage. Yeah.
keep all for the damage would be 5 d10 as a just burst, a solid line of just hellfire erupts from his empty hand and engulfs this thing's head. And when it's done, he kind of falls on his ass on the deck of the ship. And I take 5 wind to do that.
Can we change I'm asking your permission. Can we change the hellfire to the radiant light of your faith?
Yep.
Given the change from last night? Yeah. So you kind of expect hellfire, but it is the holy radiance that comes forth. 29.
Barracks, man.
The light hits its sort of upper chest and face, and it's like watching it peel the skin off. All that red devil's demon skin is gone. There's a skull there for a second, and then it covers over with almost like a ghost image of the most beautifully angelic face you've ever seen. The horns fall away, long hair drapes down over the still devilish body. And it looks back at you with infinite sadness in its eyes. It says, Baptiste Saint Laurent, I repent.
I don't have a response.
Threes?
I don't have a response to that.
Threes, yep.
3 of hearts, give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's throw that out. Come here. It won't.
Don't worry about getting the card out. I can get it later.
There we go. Anyway, so I have been thinking a while, and I might do a crazy thing.
Everybody else has.
Yeah, might as well. Okay.
It's a boss fight, man. It's time. Bring out the crazy.
Well, okay. I'm wondering. I want to save Jet, and I know I'm tied up to the rope still, right?
Yep, sure.
So,
yep.
I get my scythe out, and if I have to, I'm going to jump and go, well, fuck it, and just jump down, give it a slash, and try to catch Jet if I can.
Which one do you want to do? Do you want to try and pull Jet off of him, or do you want to attack this thing with your scythe?
Well, seeing its angelic grace, I might not want to attack it now, so at this point, I'm just going to save Jet.
Okay. Deafness, to see how well you swing.
Okay, and I'm going to throw a chip, I know I am. So I'm ready to throw.
Well, make the roll first, you self-defeating bastard. Make the roll first.
You know my history. Come on. Okay, deafness, just a straight deafness.
Yep.
What do we got, darling?
Keeps so many weird things in this. Oh dear. Yeah, you were right, as it turns out.
Okay, throwing a blue chip down.
There. Okay, so that's a re-roll.
I'm sorry to the dice gods
it's
for not giving my
It's still not a good choice.
down.
I mean, I just looked at your actual roll. It's only a 2d6. Let's see.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to do something here. Okay, so how does a blue chip work?
You just do a re-roll.
Well, blue. You
oh no, sorry,
roll
sorry. Pardon me. No, sorry. You roll 1d6 and add. Sorry, my bad.
1d6 and add.
Getting carried away. Yep. So do I keep one? So that's a 4. Give me a sleight of hand.
Oh, I can do that. Jesus, who did I fuck over today?
Would you care to burn another chip?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, leadingly. Blue one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue. Give it.
Roll 1d6 and add it to 8.
I am okay, Ellie threw a card.
You all got to do epic shit. My turn.
Yep.
Yeah, I epically chucked a card.
As long as you understand that epic fail is part of epic. They are.
That is true. I skillfully threw it.
And getting a pair of aces out of 6 cards is pretty damn impressive.
Just roll a d6. Could you do that for me? I'm
Yep.
like flicking back
Yep.
and forth trying
Meanwhile,
to fix this.
Alice is waiting to see if anybody else notices that no one's flying the ship.
Yep.
It's fine.
So that's an 11
right?
altogether.
When did it get so steep in here?
You jump off the boat. You kind of haven't decided, so you've kind of got the scythe in one hand, the rope in the other, and as you go, no, wait, I should just grab Jet, but I got to put this away. And by the time the scythe is away, you're past him.
Oh no.
And you miss, and you go to try and sort of, do that arc on the end of the rope, and that's when you realize that you have jumped at the wrong angle, and you fold in half like a fish, man. Just at the end of the rope.
I should have physicsed
You
it. That's what I should have done.
Almost come out of the loop, but that's where your sleight of hand of 11, you got your feet like pointed out, and you're now hanging from it like a trapeze artist.
What I'm hearing is we also invented bungee jumping.
This is like
Poorly.
the really fucked up version.
We poorly invented bungee
Yeah, I
jumping.
mean, it probably went bad the first time.
Serious
Real world.
bruising. Yeah.
Can I would like to ask, I don't have any cards, it is not my turn, and I don't want to step on anything. But if I heard him, I don't know if it'd be mumbling or whatever as he's coming down trying to catch me. If I spend a chip or whatever it would take, can I lend him a hand since he was trying to catch me? Can I just stick an arm out just so he doesn't hit the end of that rope? If not, that's totally fine. I'm just curious because I don't want him to, he was trying to help me. I don't want that to happen to him.
2 blue chips.
I will make you an offer. Give up the highest card in the next round, and I'll let you do it.
Aye, Captain.
Okay, give me a what would be sleight of hand? You try and grab him on the way by.
I'd prefer deafness.
Just straight
But-
deafness? Sure, let's do that.
It doesn't happen.
Look, this game doesn't make any sense to me because when we first started 5 was always a success. So I don't know how this works.
It's a success for a normal difficulty thing.
Gotcha. Okay. I
So
feel like
the
we've-
difficulty can go up by that, and then the number of successes is 5 above whatever the current difficulty is.
Oh, well, crap then.
Suffice it to say, you reach out for him and you just kind of slap him on the way by.
High five!
Invented the high five.
Yeah, invented the high five. Yeah,
Way to smack a guy when he's down.
to the face.
I tried!
You hit my hand with your face.
Oh, Baptiste, I see you have 1 card left. Is that a deuce?
No, it's I'm gonna hold on to it up the sleeve.
Oh, okay. Absolutely. In that case, can I get rid of just Ellie's card? No, I can't without doing both of those. Can you drag that card out onto the table for me, Ellie, if you can? Or Hannah? Thank you. Now I can get rid of it. There we go. Okay. So, next round, keeping the card that you've got up your sleeve. Go ahead, everybody give me a quickness for round 2.
Hey!
Alright, 1 second.
Pardon me.
I'm waiting for Sam's roll.
Wow.
There it is.
He made us wait for it too, didn't he?
Dang.
His timing's so good he should be a comedian. Alice gets 2, unless you guys want to add anything to this. Alice gets 2, Jet gets 2, Ellie gets 2. Ooh,
Oh my
Baptiste gets
god.
2.
Okay, so Claire,
I get 2.
I need a
Lucius gets
clarification.
1. Yes.
I know there's a difference between them. I don't. The Black Joker. What does that do again?
The Black Joker. Let's have a look.
Because I know that one of them does resets everything.
One of them's real good and one of them's real bad. No,
But I don't remember.
Yeah, one you can play whenever, but then it's all done.
Yeah.
Chips.
Thought that
what's
was
the
red
other
one.
one do?
I think
don't
the red
remember.
one is the good one, I think. I'm just trying to find the actual... nope, it's not there. Fate
the-
chip in there.
Where the heck is it?
In there. Oh, I remember what it is.
Okay.
You can use it whenever you want, but that ends the whole turn.
Oh, so it's the black joker that does that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The red joker is just you can use it anytime you want. That's what we're going with.
I'm burning that 9 since I said I'd give up my higher card.
Yep, give up your highest card. Yep, thank you. So I can pull the one on the table. Done. All right. So this time we're going to start where we should. Aces.
So I have one of those as well.
Oh my goodness.
Ace of spades, that goes first, yeah.
But I'm gonna, just go ahead.
Okay. So this thing still doesn't look. If that's the case, like it doesn't look menacing at all at this point.
It's like a circle has been cut out of it. So from there down, it's still all demon. The muscles are still flexing and tearing. It's still trying to rip jet off of its chest. But this section here is, if I've got my theology correct, the angel that it was before it fell.
Well, we'll see if I waste an ace on this then. Then like Baptiste will kind of pull himself back up over the railing because he's pretty winded, and see what happens. And over the edge will say, "I absolve you. Be gone from this place."
Jet.
That's my turn.
What? Should we now use faith?
I can roll the faith. I can George Michael this shit right now.
Yeah. Because you gotta have.
Boy.
Ooh, that's not the best, but I'll
It's an 8.
take it. It's been a while.
It has.
That song. I don't really have chips to go with this.
There's a connection made. That little tiny little bit of light that you put in the void just last night grows 3 times. I'm stealing from everywhere, man. I'll steal this shit from everywhere. And with that extra belief, you mean it when you offer absolution. And the face disappears, that beautiful angelic face, just sort of like watching a skeleton lift out of a body. The rest of the body just comes out of that sort of hole, like almost like it coming out of a suit, like out of a bad Halloween costume, and rises up to the sky. You watch it go. When you look back down, it's like the head was back here and it goes and flips back into place, and it's the demon's head again. And it looks up at you and opens its mouth to scream something, but what comes out is a tiny little reflective, coming right at you, silver coin coming through the air right at you, tumbling in slow motion.
Okay. Not to be an ass, because Sarah, I know you have another ace. Oh, hold on. I've got the red joker. I put the red joker down and I grab it.
Absolutely. Out of the air. As you touch it, there's a blast, and you hear Baphomet's voice. 1 down, 5 to go.
Oh no, it was bad.
The rest of you see everything that's left, all the stuff, all the accretion of greed that was on this thing just falls away. And this thing is wobbling. No, that music was perfect, dude. This thing is wobbling back and forth on its feet and it reaches up to grab the ship, and its claws just rake down the side. They do no damage. And it looks up, and the face, it's wrong because it's peaceful. And it falls and falls. And instead of hitting the ground, it goes through. There's a poof as it hits, and this dry, dusty salt sprays off in every direction. But it just keeps going.
May I do something?
Yes.
As we're falling, I'm going to reach out and grab that card, and I'm just going to hug it and hit the ground. Because I believe in...
Lucius?
I was going to attempt to use physics to see if I can try to catch Jet again from swinging back. And then...
For the purposes of this, you try and you miss. And you watch him plummet as he separates from the chest of this creature, and the creature goes into the ground, and Jet hits the ground. There's a flash of red and black light between him and the ground. And when the dust clears, he's lying there, and you can see him because you're hanging in two, looking between your own toes. And you see Jet. You see him go and look up and see you. And I know it's only 1:45. But that's where we're dropping the curtain on that.
Jesus Christ.
So, huge thank you to everybody in chat for sticking around, because this one did not start off on the best of feet. But I think we got there in the end. I hope we did. Thank you so much, guys. That was fun.
That's you can't write that shit. Like that. Like,
Oh, you have to make it up on the fly. That's the
that
only way
just
it
happens. Like, God.
works.
Thank God you made
So-
it back, Hannah.
Well as a breath. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you got one action, but it's
Well, my one action just
Save
saved Jet, so I'll
Jet's
take
life.
it.
Jet's life. Yep. So with that, and in that little quiet spot after that, thank you to my co-creators. Thank you, Baptiste, played by Ryan. Thank you, Ellie, played by Hannah. Thank you, Alice, played by Sarah. Thank you, Jet, played by Sky. And thank you, Lucius, played by Lesmax. Whew, that was fun. This is the part of the show, though, where I have to get back to business. We have to, this has to happen. We have to do this part too. This is the part where we pay you guys all off for all your hard work and for putting up with the foolishness and the ridiculousness and the horribleness that I put you guys through. This is where you get to pay yourselves back by telling us all about the other wonderful things you're doing and where you're doing them. So why don't we start with Ryan? Roll for initiative. You look mostly recovered. What are you guys doing over there?
Yeah, so we just put out, Dawn just put out a really great video today because she does all of her maps, which she puts out, and also all of our Patreons get. But she just put out a video today, and there's some really great map makers and cartographers that she follows. So if you're just getting into that, go check out that video at Roll for Initiative on YouTube and see what she does and see the people that she really likes.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And, well, which one of you two wants to handle the YouTube stuff this time?
We're both bad at it.
I feel like it's always a team effort.
Yeah, well, one of us I'll start, and then when I start to mess it up, you jump in.
Yep,
Uh,
That's how this works best. Yeah.
Come
Play
check
to your
us out on
strengths.
YouTube. We got a lot of stuff there. We got all our previous episodes from Too Many Warlocks. We got all our previous episodes from Mercenaries of Mischief. We got all our previous episodes from Deadlands. And Words Are Hard. Sarah, why don't you tell them what all other stuff we got coming out?
Yeah, okay. There's all kinds of one shots. We've got
Whoa.
the Hero Factory series, which sponsors our Sunday and Monday shows.
The
Tomorrow,
Hero Factory.
The Hero Factory, sponsored by the Hero Forge. And they are there every Wednesday. There's a new episode of those that drop, and we've had a couple of bonus episodes so far. So got a lot of stuff going on over there. Gilbetta drops tomorrow. Lilith was last week, and next week is Guy Bouton.
Oh.
The Rainbow Warrior, finally.
Rainbow Warrior. So yeah, check all that out. And if you want some of the inside track on some of that stuff, join our Discord and you can get some inside track on.
Absolutely, yeah. That stuff is all on Discord. It's the perfect place to get it. I personally will be traveling to Northern Alberta to beat the living stink out of internet providers up there so they can get their act together for next week. Other than that, I do some stuff over on Dirty 20 Gaming Twitch Thursdays and Friday nights with some other friends of mine. Thursdays is Iron Sworn co-op version, so no DM, and Friday nights is our one shot, so we're having some good fun with that. And then back to regularly scheduled programming next week, I guess. With that, holy cow, everybody lived. So we'll shoot you next week. Bye.
With your stupid game, we're walking out the door. One game I do remember, our party was first level, and the NPC who joined